Toll Brothers recently reported their third quarter earnings. They beat analyst estimates handily. Backlogs were up, cancellations were down, orders were up. Was there anything disappointing about the quarter?
No, I don't think so. I think that the guidance was conservative, so if you want to have a knock on the story, then that might be it. But to me, prices have been firming. That has certainly been the case. We've seen it in a number of data points, Case-Shiller, CoreLogic. Now we're hearing from the companies that they too are getting better pricing. So that's a good sign. I think the inventories also remain very lean and well controlled. So that's another good sign. Toll is one of the leaders. They're at the high end. And I think there's a lot to get excited about, particularly the 40% growth in backlog. As you mentioned, that's a really big number. And that gives a lot of visibility in the out few quarters. So that's why I say maybe the company's being conservative on numbers. So I think this one is still, it's a great story. Hard to chase it up here. It's had a heck of a move. So if you do get a pullback, September is pretty volatile for the markets as a whole. So if we do get a pullback, I think that's one you have to put on your radar screen.
All the home builders are stocks that a lot of the analysts have been recommending to take profits in. So do you think that maybe like after we get past September, there could be more upside in this sector?
Well, I think this is an ongoing theme for a long time, so I don't think this is just a fad. And I think that as long as interest rates remain pretty low, as long as jobs continue to improve, as long as banks continue to lend, and we are hearing and we're getting evidence of all of that, then you will continue to see housing on the mend. Again, I just feel that the stocks have had a nice move anticipating a lot of this. So yeah, I think that if Toll pulls back, a couple of percent, that's the one you want to own because it's the industry leader. But Pulte Homes is interesting. We're not playing the home builders. We're playing it through Weyerhaeuser. And that's a name that with 75% of their revenues tied to housing, it makes a lot of sense. Plus, it's a REIT, so you get a pretty decent dividend yield. And their payout is actually less than their peers. So that we think that's going to grow over time, and so you will see an increase in the dividend over time as the fundamentals continue to improve. So there's a lot of ways of playing the housing theme. We've chosen to do it that way, and then our other housing play would be Wells Fargo because they are the industry leader in terms of mortgage originations.
Now, what would it take for you to get into, say, a Home Depot?
Home Depot has run way too much. The stock, it's been a horse, and we've owned it in the past. And Blake has done an amazing job at the company in really keeping a tight lid on expenses and also being able to post leverage, operating leverage, which is hard in a declining revenue environment. So I think that stock is great. The company is a great story. I just think that that too is one that's had a nice run, and I think that they will continue to gain share to Lowe's. Lowe's got interesting earlier in the week just because the stock had pulled back so much, but I think that turnaround is going to take some time. So I think you have maybe another quarter or so before you get really excited about that one.
And what about new home sales that are going to come out here today? We got existing home sales that were in line, and as you mentioned, inventory and prices were better. Could this mean that we could see a surprise in the new?
Well, I don't ever like to trade the government data because, obviously it kind of gets revised quite a bit and that kind of thing. But I would just say this, that the trend is there. The trend is there in terms of better pricing, better inventory control, household formations are down. It's more expensive these days to rent than to buy. So there's a lot of things that are happening that are very favorable for housing. Again, low interest rates and jobs. So those are the items, the more important items to me really are jobs. So that's the thing that I keep a closer eye on. So initial claims to me each week are very important into adding that all up and into seeing where that goes in terms of how it relates to the housing market.
This market has fewer players.
We're coming into a Monday where we're going
to enter in a new stage of tech.
It's a stock picker's market.
Welcome to the 5 dumbest things.
Apple reported earnings.